Cheers, my dears. Happy Friday night. How are you? I'm in Jocelyn's room. As you can see, I'm sorry I'm a minute late. I just went in the other room to pull myself together quickly. You can see it didn't work that well, but I'm very happy to see you. Cheers, my dears. Let me take one sip of my Flights of Fancy. Mm. I was just realizing that, because I've been so sick on and off, and definitely better today. I have not had a drink of alcohol since our last coffee night, cocktail night. And obviously I've needed one, right? I mean, my health must be going to whatever's right now because, as I've heard, drinking alcohol is great for your brain, your health. It helps you lose weight. It helps roll back the years in terms of that's not true at all, is it? But I love drinking it, and I guess I've just been missing out. And now's my chance with you tonight. Let's see who's here. I see a lot of buddies on tonight. Oh dear, Mom, you're the first one on. Happy bingo night. It's great to see you. Look what picture I have behind me. I'm advertising my sister. She's such a great artist. It's one of those, did you call them boingers? From the playground growing up. It's one of the boingers at a playground covered with snow in a snowy landscape. She loves, I also love these boingers because it's like a bit Eastery, a little bit Eastery. It's like just a cute memory of days gone by. You hardly ever see the boingers anymore. They probably all boinged themselves out of the earth and into a dumpster, but so cute, so cute. If, in case I forget to say later, happy Easter, everybody. Whether you celebrate Easter as a religious holiday or not, it is a wonderful time to celebrate spring, rebirth, new ideas, second chances, lots of everything. And I'm so excited this weekend. I'm going to be seeing my mom this weekend. We've been playing shenanigans with the car. I don't know if you remember, but my car just went into limp mode and died a week and a half ago or even more. And incredibly, I don't know if I told you this part, things don't usually have a good end when your car goes into limp mode and chokes itself into the driveway where it expires. It actually did expire. The engine was done. That's usually not good. This car is 5 years old. I won't tell you what kind it is because I don't want to do bad advertising. But it's no, I'm just kidding. Well, actually, I'll give good advertising. It's a Kia Soul, and they did a great job with this. They're giving me a free engine. So if you're as suspicious as me, you're thinking, they gave me a free engine without any conversation at all. Does that mean, how bad was this car that I've been driving for 5 years? How dangerous and defective was this car that they're just replacing the engine for free? Of course, they want to do a bunch of other stuff while the hood of the car is empty. But it was a pretty good outcome because I've heard that engines are expensive. I didn't do anything wrong, I swear. It's just it had a couple of recalls, this particular one, and it's a bad one apparently. But they are hurrying to fix it. So, dear oh dear, Doreen, good to see you. If you say cheers, I gotta say, hang on a second. Cheers, my dears. Mm. TGIF, Kaz, great to see you. Sunny and cold in Wisconsin. It is sunny here too, but it was a bit warm today. I hope we're not stealing the sun from you. It will make your way. The sun will make its way that way, and I hope you will make your way this way. Per our earlier conversations today, we're talking about the Green Mountain event coming up and me teaching there, and I'm planning some other stuff coming up. I have a bunch of things on the calendar. I hope you noticed. Well, this coming Friday is our event, the Bed Rugs and Quilts at the Florence Griswold House in Old Lyme, Connecticut. Beautiful event, private tour of the exhibit, private tour of the house, and also a look at their one hooked rug that's associated with the house. So that's just for us because that's normally in storage. That'll be fun. I don't even know if it's a commercial pattern or a homemade pattern, but we will collectively look at it and make a good sort of consensus, I think, about what it is. We'll pool our great knowledge and we'll figure it out, I'm sure. And then I posted another event, the thing I've been trying to post since January 2020, and you know what happened immediately after that in March. So we didn't get there, but I posted the two-house tour of Cogswell Grant in Ipswich, Massachusetts, which is the Bertram's house, the Nina and Bertram Little Fletcher Little folk art collectors, big folk art collection, so many rugs. I wrote in the excerpt, it's like playing Where's Waldo, trying to spot all these beautiful old hooked rugs, and also in joint. It's a 2-ticket day, right? It's two houses. The other one is Beauport, also known as the Sleeper McCann House, where Henry Sleeper lived, who was known as one of the first American interior designers and he collected collections. He collected glass, pottery, rugs, old furniture, everything. Like his house is like a set design because he also did Hollywood set designing. So beautiful. So that event is coming up in July. Make sure that you catch that. That is on ribboncandyhooking.com. And I am planning other events for this year so that we can get together and possibly some kind of a hook in much later in the year toward November. So to be continued, all of that. And I just want to let you know now, next week on Coffee Time, in anticipation, because there are quite a lot of people going to the house tour, and I know not everybody can, and we all wish we could be together there on Friday at the Florence Griswold house. I've mentioned before that that house is a historic home. It is one of the best museums in the country, in my opinion. Art museum. It is called the cradle of American Impressionism because so many Impressionist painters boarded there, lived there for part of the year, and created their best work there. So for our Coffee Time episodes on Monday and Wednesday, we are going fine art. There's a wonderful, impossibly charming, tear-jerking story about the history of that house and the artists in it, right? So starting on Monday, for those episodes, next week is going to be more of a fine art week for us. Still all inspiration. We're going to be talking about the artists who are associated with the Florence Griswold house to prep the people who are going on the tour next Friday, and for those of you at home who cannot make it. So you're seeing the same things as us, pacing along with us, hearing the same stories, and you know when we're live at the house, I will bring you some good live footage there too. So that's our plan for next week. That'll be a lot of fun. Aileen, great to see you. Beautiful bingo cards. Thank you. You know, I made a big mistake tonight, but I'll tell you something, not about the bingo cards themselves. You know how I've been doing this very high-tech sharing of my screen for all of the episodes lately? Well, somehow because I was working on the Florence Griswold episodes for next week, I was getting ahead of the game, right? I'm getting a bit too big for my britches here, getting ahead of the game. So naturally, I assumed that with all of the content I had for tonight's show, naturally, I assumed that was one of the 100 things I did when I was half asleep late last week. And then I went to just pull up our scene, which is like all of these pictures, not there. So apparently I put together a lot of shows, but not this one. So today we are going vintage. We are going old school. We are going super old fashioned. And I am holding up pieces of paper again. I'm sorry about that. But it's going to work because they're just line drawing. So I have a little bit of a throwback Friday because I was a boob. I don't know how I can make those kinds of mistakes. I can only say I woke up at 3:30 this morning and I stayed awake. I was downstairs in the living room working on a hooking project at 3:40. Because you know what? And you probably agree with me if you're an up in the middle of the night person, it's torment. And I am done. I'm done. New resolution with trying to go back to sleep for 4 hours. I'm done with that. I'm okay when I wake up, if I'm wide enough awake that my eyes are open and I'm thinking about what payments I missed putting in or why the student loan people haven't been in touch lately or have I filed my extension on tax yet, it's just time to get up, isn't it? It's like, it ain't going to happen. It's time to get up. You can always take a nap later, right? If you allow yourself to do that. But I'm done. I'm done with that. Those are the worst moments of my life. Joan, cheers. You said cheers, so I have to take a sip too. Cheers in upstate New York. Great to see you. Linda H. in Massachusetts. Happy bingo night. Great to see you. Cheers, Becky from Indiana. Great to see you. Cheers, Robin. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Cheers, Wendy in Western Pennsylvania. Sunny and warm. I'm going to take 3 little sips. Karen, great to see you in windy Black Forest, Colorado. All the buddies. Linda, good to see you. Good evening. Black and white bingo cards. You had to double check your printer. I know normally everything is full blast color. We're just giving Amazon money, emptying our ink cartridges out, but not tonight. I'm just catching up with all your comments here. Joan, great to see you. Sharon Waddell, great to see you in Vancouver, Canada. Lots of Canadian content tonight. That is for sure. Gail, you're awake already in Australia. Great to see you. You are my lovely lady, too. I love it when you participate. I know it's early for you, and you've got your coffee. Oh, Mom, you recognize Jess's painting behind me here. That's an oldie but a goodie. I love her stuff. Let's see. Anne, great to see you. Happy Friday night. Lisa, happy Friday night. Fernanda Arsenal, great to see you in New Brunswick. You're going to love tonight. It's about 50-50 Canadian content and American content. I'm careful with that. I like to get us right across the board. General interest. Chrissy, cheers, my dears. Great to see you. I hope it was a great week. Mm. Lots of buddies on. We have to do a sip on cheers. Making your way in the world today. Kids' favorite song. We just can't get enough of it. Or the show. I'm going to stop with the babbling. You know what show I've been watching? Serial watching. What is it called? Binge watching. The Mary Tyler Moore Show. I mean, I know you know that show, but have you watched it lately? Because it is so smart and cute and sweet and so funny. I can't believe it. I don't know how, when it was on, I was just too young to enjoy and appreciate. And, it's been decades since I even thought about it, but she is beautiful. And Rhoda is beautiful. Gorgeous woman, both of them. And I'm on like the second season now. I've watched tons of seasons in every episode, but they are so good. That and Cheers, I think, are my two all-time favorite shows, followed by Gilmore Girls, but that is much more contemporary. Those are the top three. What a great show. Get back to it if you have it on your clicker, So tonight is bingo night, and I'm doing a combo tonight of bingo and trivia. And this is a participation night. If you feel like it, if you know the answers, nobody ever says anything if you get the wrong answers. It's fun to shout out, right? Have a drink and shout out. Bray, good to see you. It's carrot eating weekend. Yes, it is. I remember today. Sally, great to see you. It's Denise in Corpus Christi. Of course it is. Linda Ann, hello. Went away to the mountains for a couple of days, so you're watching from a hotel in Jasper, Alberta. Oh, that sounds so sophisticated. I'm jealous. That sounds so good. I hope you post some pictures. If you're on Facebook, I would love to know what's going on up there. Oh, I have so much catching up to do, but let's just have fun tonight. With the pool of, tonight the subject is Pattern Palooza, and we are playing bingo. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, your bingo card is made up of 16 spaces, right? That is for time rather than a full bingo card. Unlike traditional bingo, you need to have blackout. We are only going to play the full game today just because I've got a lot of trivia running alongside the commentary that I wrote. So we'll just play blackout, which means that while you are making a call, I'm actually using the bingo tray tonight. I just couldn't lug the wheel upstairs. It's on this heavy iron Christmas tree stand. Mom says, Dad and I watched Mary Tyler Moore every Saturday night, followed by the Paul Sands Show. I have never heard of that. So many others. We never went out on Saturday night. TV was too good back in the 70s. Yeah, and then in the 80s, for me too, there were some nights like the Love Boat, Fantasy Island night, and then when I was older, The Facts of Life was in between stuff, and also Family Ties was on, maybe with Cheers or something like that. There were good nights. It's not like that anymore. Even when I want to watch something, I can't figure out what to do with the remote control to get where I'm going because there's so many different hosts for stuff. I tried so hard at 4 a.m. this morning to watch the Easter Beagle, the Charles Schulz Peanuts cartoon. You just can't watch it. It's like on with like Apple TV or something. And although it seems like I have Apple TV, I just can't get in there. I just can't figure it out. It's like impossible to watch the Peanuts special for this holiday. Doesn't it seem like that is some kind of terrible commentary on our time when that show is available? It's been on for so many generations, and when I try with all of my brain cells to watch it, it's there and I still can't watch it. That's really saying something, isn't it? Anyway, so tonight, as far as bingo goes, when I make a bingo call, I'll pull a number out of the bingo cage. I will tell you what title it corresponds to because your bingo sheet is made up of titles. Images of patterns, Pattern Palooza, with a title. And when I read the title, I'll either give you a trivia question or a bit of trivia, knowledge, interest on that particular subject or designer or whatever relates to the picture. So don't forget there's also Rhoda, and that's what I have not forgotten because I'm thinking as soon as I'm done with Mary Tyler Moore, I can go to Rhoda. Now tell me this, I feel like Bob Newhart, completely separate? Is that completely separate or did those characters cross? Because I feel like I associate the Bob Newhart show with the Mary Tyler Moore show. And then I know there was a newer Bob Newhart show. So I thought there were more spin-offs there. I don't know if it's the same characters ever crossing. I haven't had a chance to look that up yet, but I remembered that at one point my parents watched the Bob Newhart show. So I'm thinking it's the same kind of humor. And it's probably for me in the future, one of my future things if I can pull it up on the television set, of course. Interesting. Yeah. So good. So I will be making calls and we'll be doing trivia in the margin. Now, if your card is a winner, it will be because you crossed off every square on the card, not one line, every square on the card. And if that's the case, you will also notice at the same time, if you're a bit too gun shy to shout out bingo, you'll see that other people will be writing bingo. And then I'll say, what card have you got? Which card? Do you know what card you have that has bingo? Because it should be one card. And however many people have that card, they will win and split the jackpot. So I will send you either later after the game or in the morning an email with a code for the Ribbon Candy Hooking Store. And as I always say, if you don't see what you want there, you just want white wool, or you want a new hook, or you want a new punch, or you want anything, right? Even if you don't like my patterns or my colors, pick something else, pick anything. You can get it there. I also have vintage sale patterns up for sale. And you can ask me about those if you want to spend money on those. And I have more coming out next week. I'm photographing those either not Sunday, probably Monday. So all of that is coming up, and you'll be able to spend your money in the shop. We're not gambling with cash, and you can imagine why, right? Bob Newhart and Carol Burnett on the same night. Okay, that sounds familiar. Saturday night. We were sore from laughing. Oh, Carol Burnett was so funny too, wasn't she? Is she still alive, Carol Burnett? We shouldn't play that game tonight. That's not a good Friday night game. So let's do this. If you have any questions, just ask. If I'm not paying attention to the thread because I'm working on commentary, somebody will answer you. We're here for you. We're excited. I hope that everybody wins. It's impossible, but I hope that you win. And I hope it's big tonight. It wasn't a ton of cards that sold. I can't remember what the total was. It's probably in the maybe 40s or 50s. So we're usually in the 70s. So we're definitely lower tonight for the pot. But it's still a lot of fun, and we're going to learn a lot. So here we go. Let's just say Wheel of Fortune, even though I didn't bring the wheel. I didn't think of that. Not using the wheel means we can't say that, but let's say it anyway. Wheel of Fortune. Now get ready. You're going to hear me grinding away at the cage. Here comes our first call. It is 8. So that means that is, and I'm going to have to show it to remember, Calico Cat. Now this is one of my big commentary things, so it's kind of a pooper that came up so early. But here is Calico Cat. Do you recognize this? Good, Joan. I'm glad to hear that. I've never heard to the contrary. I've been watching Carol Burnett shows through YouTube. Isn't that funny, Lisa? We're binging on similar things. No, Rhoda isn't. I looked her up because when I was watching the show, I was just astounded by how beautiful she is. Mary too, of course, but Rhoda just had this look of like a Madonna kind of a face, you know, with the big eyes, and just beautiful. So I did look her up, Valerie Harper, and I was reading her biography and stuff just as a side thing. Carol is still alive and in her 80s. Good for her. Such a great group of people, huh? Such a great time. So Calico Cat, if that is on your card, cross it off, please. So this is a trivia question, and this is a long bit of commentary to start the game off. Not all of our calls will be as long as this one is, but this was too charming to pass on. So my trivia question for you with this call, Calico Cat, and by the way, this is a designs by Betsy, and that is, Patsy. I'm so sorry. Designs by Patsy Becker. You see where I was going with the B? Patsy Becker. Okay, Calico Cat. So she was stunning. So this is my question for you regarding Calico Cat, right? This is a literary trivia question for you. Who wrote the poem called The Duel? And it was subtitled The Gingham Dog and the Calico Cat. I'm going to leave it at that. Of course, you can Google it if you want to. I won't know that you're doing it. I looked up this poem because I know this poem and I hadn't heard it for a long time. So have a sip. I'm going to read you this poem real quick because it is too cute to pass on. You tell me who the author is while I'm reading. Rack your brain. The title is The Duel. The Gingham Dog and the Calico Cat. The gingham dog and the calico cat sat side by side on the table. On the table sat. 'Twas 12:30, and what do you think? Not one of them either had slept a wink. This is written in like weird English, right? The old Dutch clock and the Chinese plate appeared to know as sure as fate there was going to be a terrible spat. I wasn't there. I simply state what was told to me by the Chinese plate. The gingham dog went bow wow wow, and the calico cat replied meow. The air was littered an hour or so with bits of gingham and calico, while the old Dutch clock on the chimney place, up with its hands before its face, for it always dreaded a family row. Now mind, I'm only telling you what the old Dutch clock declares is true. The Chinese plate looked very blue and wailed, oh dear, what shall we do? But the gingham dog and the calico cat wallowed this way and tumbled that, employing every tooth and claw in the awfulest way you ever saw. And oh, how the gingham and calico flew. Don't fancy I exaggerate. I got my news from the Chinese plate. Next morning, where the two had sat, they found no trace of dog or cat. And some folks think unto this day the burglars stole that pair away. But the truth about the cat and pup is this: they ate each other up. Now, what do you really think of that? The old Dutch clock, it told me so, and that is how I came to know. I think that is one of the cutest poems ever. It's one of these old-fashioned children's poems, and it is so sweet. I pulled it up when I looked at the calico cat, and I thought I've got to read that, just in case you haven't heard it for a little while. So cute. Next call is, for me, number, oh boy, are my eyes bad, 31. So for you, that is, Turtles in the Rain. Turtles in the Rain. I'm getting rid of my cues there, not knowing I had to. Turtles in the Rain. Now take a good gander. Oh, did anybody know the author of The Gingham Dog and the Calico Cat? Because I didn't see any answers. No, it's not an off of the top of your head thing, is it? But when you hear it, you're going to remember Eugene Field, right? Eugene Field. So let me bring this one back up. Turtles in the Rain. Now mark that off if it's on your sheet. And I have a trivia question for you here. Now, Turtles in the Rain is a pattern by, maybe you remember this because we covered this a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on this very show, Cocktail Night. This is a Rittermere pattern from Canada. Rittermere. My mom says, oh, that was such a sweet poem. Typical darkness. Yeah, but exciting and fun. They are such weird poems from the Victorian through early 20th century. Such dark ideas, but so cute. So Turtles in the Rain, maybe you remember that from our week of Rittermere, right? Hard to beat. Now, we spoke a lot during that time about how the Rittermere patterns are very modern and abstract, right? Really giving a hat tip to the abstract art movement that was happening right alongside them, right? So this is my trivia question for you, and I'm going to wait and see if anybody answers this. Which of these artists is not associated with the abstract art movement? Which is not an abstract artist? Is it Cassett, Pollock, or Kandinsky? What do you think? So that's Mary Cassett, Kandinsky. What was his first name? Began with a W. Wald. Oh, it'll come to me. You know, Kandinsky. And Jackson Pollock. So which one of those three is not an abstract painter at all? See if you know. Wassily. Wasn't that it? Wassily Kandinsky. That's it. Wassily. Ooh, that was a tough one. I pulled that one right out, didn't I? Not exactly, but. So let me know if you know. I'll go back and give the answer to that in just a second, but I want to give you that hot minute to answer. That's right, Sharon. Mary Cassett. Because, of course, she's an American Impressionist artist that's associated with mostly portraits of mothers and children, women bathing, women grooming, beautiful bath pictures. Great artist of the female form mostly. Excellent. You all know. Good job. It's fun to get these little trivia pops, isn't it? Gets your brain going. Activate some brain cells, right? The next call for me is number 11. For you, that is Celestial Swirl. Celestial Swirl. And it looks like this. I'm going to be careful about how I crop. Celestial Swirl. Now, most of the patterns we're looking at tonight, and I'm not testing you by any means, right? This is all for funsies. But most of the patterns that we're looking at tonight are patterns that we have looked at recently on Coffee Time. Again, this one is called Celestial Swirl. So my question to you is, do you remember whose pattern Celestial Swirl is? Is it a McGowan, an heirloom, or a Riddermere pattern? Do you remember? Because we did. I always love informative bingo night. Me too, Linda Ann. It's a good chance to inject silliness and trivia. I just love trivia. I mean, I don't watch any game shows or anything, and I guess I don't know why, other than I'm not a big TV person. If I'm going to watch them and watch one of my series, I'm sneaking off my jogging pants. I'm being all discreet about it, right? Just so you can hear my skin slapping on this plastic chair. Every time, Joan says, every time one of my squares is called, I drink. There you go. There's a good side game. Oh, man. Yes, Aileen. I'm glad you got it, as you should, right? As a Canadian, it is a Riddermere pattern. So we looked at Celestial Swirl that week that we're covering the Riddermere patterns. It is an important one. Funny that we got 2 Riddermeres in a row. I didn't pull from every pattern designer tonight, as you can imagine, because there's so many. And I really saw potential in this particular game, the Pattern Palooza, looking at the line drawings as opposed to colored pieces. I really saw potential for us in future nights or on future coffee times to be able to do this again. So I want to do this indefinitely. It's just a different way to look at rug hooking patterns without the colors and without being done. So I really like these black and white bingo cards. The layout is easy to use. I agree. This is something to think about, right? We just stumbled into this. And the reason I thought of it was because of the Riddermere series. And I thought, wow, look at all these great black and white drawings. Wouldn't this work well for bingo? They're so crisp, right? So crisp and clear. You'd love to hook it, Aileen. It's a good one, isn't it? Those abstracts are just great. Just that conversation about the, abstract art immediately right before. They did such a good job with abstract, and I said that before, so I won't beat that one up again. But I can't think of any brand that ever did abstract art in the middle to late 20th century as well as Riddermere. And I don't think it's a taste thing. It was a quantity thing and a quality thing, right? It was just amazingly great. Saves on the ink. That's right, Sharon. That's right. So for me, my next call is number 1. So for you, that is thistle. That is thistle. So here it comes. I'm going to be careful about my cropping again. Thistle. Do you have this one on your card? Sorry about my shaky hands. It's just impossible to hold it still. That is thistle. It's not actually called thistle. Some of these didn't have names, so I had to give them names. That is one of them. So thistle is not the actual name. So this is do you know whose pattern this is, right? So this is going to be a rack your brain. This is a little bit harder because it's not a multiple choice. I will tell you a hint. This brand carries as its main logo, as its main image, a picture of a fishing schooner. Does that help you identify what company put out Thistle? Thistle came out in 1930. No, it didn't. It didn't. It came out earlier. No, forget it. Forget it. I just wrote 1930 because I was cueing myself. So I wrote 1930 Thistle. Yeah, but that was just to cue me because I was just trying to remember a name for it because it actually has a number. And that is a little bit of a clue as to whose pattern it was because it's that old. I'll just give you a second to see if you get there because I know somebody will. I'm getting Snapchats. Yes, Anne. Very well done. It was Blue Nose, right? Because the schooner, the Blue Nose, which is also, I believe, so I've been told on the Canadian Quarter, or was at one time, I don't know if it still is, that is their logo. So that's Garrett Blue Nose, right? And that is the correct answer. Well done. There you go. Aileen's in there too. Well done. I think that is more common knowledge for Canadians because of the schooner, because the Blue Nose is such a famous boat. But very well done. Very well done. That was a very hard question. So let's see what our next one is. I got to make my mouth stop moving a little bit. This one for me is 20. So for you, that is Okay, I have to cover this up. And it's not the one printed on top. So stick with me. Do you recognize this? I'll tell you what the name of it is in a second, because I know you need to cross it off your card, right? Sorry about the focus thing. I know you need to cross it off your card. Does anybody, this is a Riddermere pattern, right? I'm going to give you the trivia question first and show you the image again in a second, right? So I'm going to show you the image. Is this Riddermere piece called Drops of the Rain, choice A, Lake of the Woods, choice B, Shadows of the Puddles, choice C? Do you know? And I'm going to hold it up again so you can look at it and cross it off your card. Do you recognize that? I'm trying to be really careful with the paper because I wrote my notes next to it before I realized I hadn't set up the scene. B. Yes, it is B. Lake of the Woods. You're right. You're all right. Did you all remember that from our Riddermere episode? Or is the other ones just sounded made up because they are made up? How funny. I mean, every single person said B. Is it possible that you all watched that episode, or is my writing just so bad that the other ones were not very convincing? Joan said C, so that makes me feel a little bit better. They all had, I mean, it was such a weird name to begin with. It is called Lake of the... Okay, so this is a product of waking up at 3:30. It just struck me that it's on your card as Lake of the Woods, right? Oh, man. All right. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to have a drink. Maybe it'll help. I got there in the end. I'm like, how do they all know this? They are such good listeners. This is unbelievable. All right, let's move on. What is wrong with me? Honest to God. Sometimes I think I'm doing okay, and other times I think I'm ready for the nut house. All right, so this is going to be number 21. So for you, good Lord. For you, okay. See, I have another one of these stupid questions that plays with the name. It's not going to work, is it? This one is called magnetism. I just have to skip this question because I did it. Oops, I did it again. I did it again. My question was, for magnetism, is the name of this magnetism, sound waves, or electricity? What? You know, this was like a little bit before and a little bit after I took the nap to recover from that terrible night's sleep. Your light bulb moments. Thinking, how is this possible? Oh man, what a nut. So magnetism looks like this, right? So you don't have to search for it. It is another one of the Riddermeres. It is one of the oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too. It is one of the Riddermeres. I didn't use a ton of Riddermeres. We're just getting them all at once. You thought it was a trick question, Linda Ann. That's so. I wish it was. I wish it was. No, it was just me being a ding dong. A ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong. So that was magnetism. I love that one too. Aileen, is that another one that you'd like to hook? I know you like the abstract. All right, let's see. What's this one? Man, 24. All right, 24. So for you, that is Potluck Sampler. Incredibly, it's another Riddermere. So this is called Potluck Sampler, and it looks like this. Karen, I was looking at your Pradi today, and I was saying, are you inspired by this one, Potluck Sampler, for your unbelievably artistic and brilliant Pradi? Karen just posted today in our group, which is a Facebook group called Rug Cooking and Punch Needle Club. Karen's been doing the most exquisite work. I'll remind you about the gypsy with the Waldoboro globe, right? Karen, you did another one in between, didn't you? You've been like house on fire busy. These ring lights are reflecting in my thing. I must look like an alien. But today she put up, or maybe it was yesterday, but I caught it today, a beautiful composition with a bunch of pots, but leaves, different plants, and Pradi leaves on them. And it is so brilliant because we did talk about Potluck Sampler on our Riddermere episode. And I remember we were talking about how with Riddermere, they would give you a kit, and the idea was to not hook the entire backing, but to leave a lot of it bare, right? So you would just be experimenting with, they did a lot with different stitches, right? Almost crossing over into needlepoint, the kinds of stitches and the variety of stitches that they would want you to show and to know in your wheelhouse, right? And this was one of the patterns that they did this with. But I'm so in love with this pattern. This is one of my holy grail Riddermere patterns. And Karen, I am so in love with your composition. I can't wait to see how it comes out. But it was charming everybody because it is such an over-the-top beautiful piece, particularly for this time of year. All year, obviously, but for this time of year, it's just so cheerful. So let's see. This is number 23. We're getting a lot in the 20s. That doesn't make me super happy because, okay, well, it's okay. I was going to say because we're hitting a lot of the same company in there. So this next call is Peaceful Village. I'll show it to you here. Peaceful Village. Isn't that adorable? Now, the thing about Peaceful Village is it is from, I'm going to show you the book that I got this from. The designer is Emma Lou. Oh, Karen, you're so welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you in all settings, but on the page where everybody can see your work is so, so nice because people are really enjoying it and being inspired by it, and that's everything, isn't it? Peaceful Village comes from this book. I don't know this book, and if you do, help me out because this is one of my favorite catalogs of rug hooking, Primitives by Emma Lou. Designs that make your heart smile. It says usually an 8 to 12 month delay. Well, that makes me feel better. When I'm like more than a week with my patterns, I start to get palpitations. So Teachers in Shop. So this catalog is by Emma Lou's Hooked Rugs, 1995. Hiawatha Road, Kansas City, Missouri. Does anybody know this company? Does anybody know Emma Lou? Because these patterns, we'll see some more tonight, are absolutely beautiful. They're some of my favorite patterns I've ever seen, and I don't know anything about the company. I can try to go down a rabbit hole, but it wasn't instant or immediate when I did try. So this is one that I pulled out of this pattern book, Peaceful Village, and it was so charming because she said on the sort of ad for this particular pattern, she said something like, well, why don't you think about using your own town to like name some of these buildings? And I thought, isn't that so nice? She's giving you this beautiful pattern, Peaceful Village, and she's suggesting that you personalize it and customize it by using some, whatever. For me, like Hamden Library, God forbid, I hate this town. But if you like your town more than I like my town at this particular moment, it would be fun to think about substituting some of the buildings and the names. It was a really sweet, very encouraging idea, Karen says, I was wanting to design a piece where I could try all the different Proddy flowers in Jean Shepherd's Proddy book. That is a vast book, too. There are a lot of flowers in that book. I have that. I don't think I've ever covered that. He does so many videos himself that I don't want to step on anybody's feet, I've been careful lately about what I do, because even though I feel like the show is always about inspiring people and advertising, free advertising to other companies and usually not my own, I do often get nastiness in my mailbox. And that is often the cause for lack of sleep and bad moods because it's so jarring when it happens because I try to be so helpful and forthcoming with information about everyone. Not Jean Shepherd, not anything like that. He seems like a super, super nice guy, and his work is stellar. And he's also strongly associated with Rug Cooking Magazine, as I have become. So I know that he is fantastic, but I am so nervous lately about covering new books and stuff like that because I've had so many ordeals. I wouldn't expect to with him at all. I'm in super careful mode. I'm in safety straitjacket mode right now. So, oh, Linda, you've made several patterns by Emma Lou Lays. See, it doesn't even say her last name or married name or what on the book. Interesting. Teresa, isn't the Shepherd book out of print? Teresa, I don't know, but I think it might be because I've seen people asking for it a lot. I don't participate in the Rug Cooking Buy and Sell group anymore. It is my least favorite page on Facebook, I have to say. I've had an ongoing battle with somebody on that page that it's beyond. And I've had nothing but trouble buying and selling on there. But before I exited that page, I did notice that people were from time to time asking about that particular title. And if that's the case, we should really figure out if anybody has an extra copy and try to make it available for people who are seriously looking. Because I know that I see them sometimes also on eBay, and they are on the high side for sure. So I'm thinking it sounds right that it would be out of print just based on the little I know about that title. Maybe somebody else knows. But his books are so good. So good. I have his dying book, To Die. Is it called To Die For? I think it's called To Die For, right? That is like the Bible of dying. I mean, that is like the book on dying. In my opinion, there's lots of books on dying, but that's my favorite one. And I love his Proddy book too. So let's see. The book is out of print. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, it has to be when it has crazy prices, right? Otherwise, people would just go get it. So next call is number 3, and that is, it's another Primitives by Emmylou Lais design, Lais, Aunt Lily's Quilts. So this is 2 in a row. That's a coincidence. And again, I don't have a lot to say about these other than I love them. I love them and I wanted to include them. I would also love to hook them. I would love to own them. So I'm going to have to research this artist because she really is stellar. This is just the height of primitive, isn't it? I mean, in terms of composition, it's got a little bit of Maud Lewis going on here, got a little bit of Grandma Moses. It is just so good. It is so smart. It is so good. It is so charming. It's so perfect for what we do, isn't it? I absolutely love that piece. So that is Aunt Lily's Quilts. And when you combine quilting and rug making, you are in heaven, aren't you? I'm getting there. I'm getting there myself. I'm getting back to my quilting roots myself. I'm feeling it lately. All right. This is number 13, which for you is Deco Door. Deco Door. So this one is going to be a bit harder. I've got a bit of a puzzlement for you, a trivia question. I'm going to show you this very carefully. This is what Deco Door looks like. This is not the title. I gave it this title, right, to help myself identify it. Deco Door, not the real title. If it's on your sheet, scratch it off. You got it. And my question for you is, which company made Deco Door? Is it A, Bernat, which is the famous latch hook company, right, from the mid-century, B, Blue Nose, or C, Rittermere? I'm just going to double check because now I'm second guessing myself. If you just saw deer in the headlights look, that was me second guessing myself. Okay, got it. Oh, I thought so. I just scared myself there. So let me know what you think. Karen says, is that the one that's on the frame from your photo? Oh, no, the photo from this thumbnail. No, the Deco Door, this one here. Let me be careful. Uh-oh. No, I haven't used that one yet, I don't think. Oh, Gail, I know you got to start your day. Happy Easter. Thank you. Teddy and Joss are going to have a great Easter on Sunday. I am all geared up, and even Buttons the dog is having a great day. I got pink eggs for Joss, although she hates pink, blue eggs for Teddy to find, and purple eggs for Buttons the dog to find. And inside the purple eggs, we're hiding them all in my sister's big fenced-in backyard. And in the purple eggs, I'm putting up chopped up pieces of hot dog. So, you know, Buttons, we'll see how good of a true dog he is. He's just a little Yorkie, but I'm hoping that he finds all those eggs out there. The purple ones are his. Happy Easter to you, too. I'm so excited about the holiday. I'm really feeling it this year. Joan says C, Rittermere. No, the house. Oh, no. No, I haven't used that one yet either. I haven't used that for anything. No, I'm trying to think. No, I don't think so. Definitely not on this thumbnail. It could be on a... No, I wouldn't have because I just found these books. I had them like buried and I just looked at them for the first time. No. So far my only guess is C, and that is the wrong answer. It's very, very close. So for Deco Door, the choices were Bernat. Bernat is a bit of a shapeshifter, isn't it? Because those latch hook rugs, we've looked at those a lot on Coffee Time and Cocktail Time, and we've got more look-ins to do. But those were super mid-century style, very modern, not abstract, but modern, from Aunt Mary pattern. Aunt Mary. Aunt Lily's quilts? Yeah, Aunt Lily's quilts. No, I haven't ever used that for anything. Never. But I love it. But no, I haven't used that for anything yet. I was going to keep guessing. C. It is, nope, it's actually B, blue nose. Did somebody say blue? No. It's a blue nose pattern. And the reason I included it is because, do I have my blue nose? No, my blue nose book is downstairs. That was the one I dropped into the bucket of Synthropol, and I had to dry each page individually. That's a blue nose pattern. And the reason I included it is because it's not the mid-century abstract of Rittermere's style, which interchangeable, right? Impossible to know just by looking at Deco Door. It is more the 1920s style, and that is like the 1910s, 1920s. The Art Deco style is more synonymous with Garrett Bluenose, same company. So the answer to that is blue nose. I'm happy if I got you. I like it when there's a bit of a puzzlement, but that's a blue nose pattern. All right, next call. 14. 14. That is, oh, this one is so cute. This is called You is Just Fluffy. So let me show you this one, and I'll tell you who the artist is, because this one is another one of these pattern books that I had in my unopened stash, and it says, "You is not fat, you is just fluffy." Isn't that so cute? I'm going to show you the book that I pulled that from in just a minute. It's called The Heart in Hand. The company was called The Heart in Hand. Let me know. On a frame, pattern on a frame. Oh, I see what you mean. On the Aunt Lydia catalog. I don't know. Interesting, though. I get what you mean now. The Aunt Lydia, the logo of the girl actually on the floor frame. I get it. I'm so sorry. I'm a bit dim. You is not fat. You is just fluffy. So that comes from, I just love that. That comes from this catalog. Does anybody know anything about this catalog? Heart in Hand Rug Hooking Pattern Catalog, March 2012. Crocodile Mola on the front cover. This is so nice. This company came from Glen Ridge, New Jersey. And again, 2012. And there was a whole, I pulled a few of them out of here. There was a bunch that were along those lines that were so cute, that we're using you know, E-U-E as, I know. Isn't that adorable, Aileen? I just love that. It reminds me of, Mom, what was that saying from that movie, The Help? It was something like, you is good, you is worthwhile. Remember? Do you remember? Does anybody remember that, the movie and the book, The Help? It was such a poignant line. I forgot it. It used to be on the tip of my tongue. But it was that kind of thing. It was that very uplifting, sweet kind of sentiment. Anyway, there's more in that book that we'll come to, the Heart in Hand catalog. And if you know anything about that, please let me know, because this was another really thrilling, beautiful, solid, quality, very artistic catalog of patterns that I would like to think every single one of them is currently available. These are pipe dreams sometimes, but I hope that they are, because they really are stellar. Just adorable. All right, on to the next. Let's see. This one is number, and I'm going to keep my eye on the thread because I know you all have a lot of info too. Number 4, Autumn Leaves. Autumn leaves lying on a bed of leaves. Question for this one, who is the designer on this? Now we have a very small stable of designers I'm pulling from this night because every book was chock full. So if you recognize this, you is smart. Oh, a genius. Thank you. Milner says, you is smart, you is beautiful, you is important. That's it. Oh God, that's it. That is so nice, isn't it? That is so nice. Oh, that makes me cry. All right, don't cry. Get through the show, then cry. Oh, I love that so much. I love that so much. That should be made into a rug. That is so positive and uplifting. Who knows what company made this pattern? I know you know. It's one that we've talked about a lot tonight. No harm in reinforcing these great, big, important names in our history of rug hooking, right? So I'm going to move on, but you tell me if you know whose design Autumn Leaves is. I won't stall for too long because we have a lot of good stuff to get to. So our next call is Vermont. You know, last time we used the bingo cage instead of the bingo wheel was when we did our Molly Nye Toby episode on the states, her state rugs. That was a long time ago. That was like a year and a half ago. Yep. Oh, there's a delay. We all get it. Such a good saying. Ridimere. Aileen, you are right. You are the queen of Ridimere. You are right. It is a Ridimere pattern. Autumn Leaves. We had a long talk about that and its association to the sort of jazz songs of that era, the skyscrapers, just the look, the movie theater carpets, remember? So, yep, you're all getting it. So the next call is number 17, which for you is going to be, okay, so I'm going to be careful with this one. This is another Ridimere pattern, and I'm going to give you a trivia question on this. And the trivia question is going to be, it's this woman here. We saw this on our Ridimere day. Wait a minute, let me get you in focus. Oh, you're going to get it. I should have had a V8. You're going to get it because it's on your card. The question was, what is this composition called? Kenya, Ghana, Tunisia. God, I'm so sorry. There's something so wrong with me. But yeah, it's Ghana. So you can mark it off your card if you have it. That one is called Ghana. Honestly, I am so ashamed of myself. This is really one of my big stoopy nights. All right, so check off Ghana if you have it. This is number 13, which for you can't be 13. Wait a minute, because we've done 13. Oh no, wait a minute. Hang on. Wait a minute. I think I might have grabbed the same ball twice. It was in the same place, but I thought it was a newie. I'm just checking my balls to make sure. Wait a minute. I'm double checking all of these numbers because we have to be correct. No, I had that one already. All right, good. As long as we're not skipping any, that's the thing. So, all right. I had 2 in the little thing that comes shooting out, you know, and I thought one of them was new, but it wasn't. Okay, so 32. That one should be a freshie. 32 for you is Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod. Okay, so it looks like this. And my question for you, it's a trivia question on this one, is who is the famous poet? It's a multiple choice, so I'm going to help you out. Who is the author of the poem called, thanks Aileen, Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod? And I know you know the poem. I'm going to read it to you in a second. Another beautiful poem. Is the author Longfellow, Eugene Field, or T.S. Eliot? Do you also remember the song Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod? I know it from the Irish Rovers singing it. That was one of my dad's favorite bands. Do you know that song, Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod? It is so beautiful. And the poem is so beautiful. Let's look at the poem together. This is just one of the cutest. I hope another children's poem, and I guess children's poetry lends itself very well to rug hooking designs. So it goes like this. You tell me who the author of the poem is. The author lived between the years 1815 and 1895, if that helps. So it goes like this. Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod one night sailed off in a wooden shoe, sailed on a river of crystal light into a sea of dew. Where are you going, and what do you wish? The old moon asked the three. We have come to fish for the herring fish that live in this beautiful sea. Nets of silver and gold have we, said Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod. The old moon laughed and sang a song as they rocked in the wooden shoe, and the wind that sped them all night long ruffled the waves of dew. The little stars were the herring fish that lived in the beautiful sea. Now cast your nets wherever you wish, never afraid are we. So cried the stars to the fishermen three, Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod. All night long their nets they threw to the stars in the twinkling foam. Then down from the skies came the wooden shoe, bringing the fishermen home. 'Twas all so pretty a sail, it seemed, as if it could not be true. And some folk thought 'twas a dream they dreamed of sailing that beautiful sea. But I shall name you, the fishermen three, Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod. And then it's all defined at the end. Winkin' and Blinkin' are 2 little eyes, and Nod is a little head. And the wooden shoe that sailed the seas is the wee one's trundle bed. So shut your eyes while mother sings of the wonderful sights that be, and you shall see the beautiful things as you rock in the misty sea. Where the old shoe rocked the fishermen three, Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod. No, it's not Eliot. It's Eugene Field. It's Field. Yeah, T.S. Eliot wrote the the poem that became Cats, but Eugene Fields wrote Wink and Blink and Nod. Isn't that a beautiful poem? I remember it from the song, from growing up with that song, the Irish Rovers record that also had the song The Unicorn on it. These beautiful sort of narrative poem story songs. So cute, isn't it? So cute. And I like it done as owls, but I'd love to see a row cooking design of Wink and Blink and Nod as the fishermen in their little wooden shoe casting their little nets and the stars talking to them. I think it would be so sweet. Eugene Fields. All right, so this next one is number 9, and that is Castles in Spain. So let me show you Castles in Spain. This one is a little bit colored, right? It's a black and white image of a finished rug. And I'm going to give you a trivia question. Hold on, I'm getting you there. I will never do this again, I promise. I will triple check myself that I have everything set up in the computer. This is Castles in Spain. Do you have Castles in Spain? And your question is, whose pattern is Castles in Spain? Is it Riddermere, Pearl McGowan, or Heirloom? We talked about this, and my God, it must have been a year or two ago on one of our coffee time episodes. Because I remember I was sitting in the chair downstairs. I don't think I had my space yet. By the way, I'm getting a new space starting on June 1st. I'll tell you about that in a little while. Which will function as a store and a teaching space too. So that will be nice. It's not a big deal. It's in the same parking lot as the place I have now, but it's very nice, and I'm very excited. So let me know what you think. Oh, you're celebrating Easter, Whitney. Happy Easter to you too. It's Good Friday today, and the kids had Good Friday off. I forgot to mention that they have Good Friday off. And they were so happy too. It was such a nice sunny day, and they had their buddies over. It was so good. It really was so good. I'm waiting to see if anybody answers this question. Heirloom, McGowan, Riddermere, what do you think out of those three? Those are three from kind of the same era, so it could be any of them, couldn't it? And it would be very hard to remember back to this episode. So let me know what you think while I get going on our next one. It's already 7:59. Can you believe it? I'm going to wait and see if anyone answers, and then I will give you the answer while I look up my next call. I will get ready for it. Karen, it is Heirloom. Well done. Well done. It is Heirloom. Heirloom's a hard one to pin down because they had such a wide variety of patterns, and they don't have a distinctive look. Heirloom patterns are designed by Louise Zeiser, and we have done episodes on her. And I have certainly shown Castles of Spain because I think it's one of their most unusual ones. Good. A bunch of you are getting Heirloom. That makes me... Did I write it on the papers? Not that I don't think you're brilliant. It's not that at all. I question myself. So Heirloom was actually... The Zeisers lived in Providence, Rhode Island. But they have as their address for this catalog, Rumford, Rhode Island. Rumford is a beautiful area. This catalog came out in 1979. It's a little bit off-center, right, printing. You see this letter here is just the pages put in a bit askew. But the catalog looks like this. A lot of black and white images of finished rugs, so it's sometimes hard to see what the rugs actually looked like. We'll talk more about Heirloom again in the future. That's a lot of conversation for us, and it's all important. But I forgot what I was just doing. Did I just make another call? Good Lord, did I just make another call? Now I'm scared. How am I ever going to make that call again? Does anybody remember what I just said a second ago? I got involved in the Heirloom. Wait a minute. Please tell me somebody remembers the last number I just said. Or I'm rechecking my balls. Am I a piece of work or what? I feel like I just opened to something for a reason. I'm rechecking my balls because this has to be fair. Have a sip. Kick it back for a minute while I flounder. Okay, I got it. Number 28. Holy mackerel. Linda Ann. A bunch of smart cookies. That part's true. So this next one is called Special Heart. Special Heart. And I'm not going to give you trivia on this one because it's going to be hard. But this is a Patsy Becker. Special Heart. It does have that primitive look too. Good, Becky, I got it. That scared me. Because even if I could cover it up now and you wouldn't know that I picked one, I would know that I picked one and that I had skewered the game. And that would make me feel awful. But I got it. It's this guy here, Special Heart by Patsy Becker. I absolutely love this. Very, very pen Dutch, right? Very fracture looking. It looks like it was folded in half, designed that way, opened up. What a beautiful, simple, and lovely design, like a German paper cutting. And I'm getting all the Patsy Becker designs from this Patsy book, Designs from Patsy. And she was in Holmdel, New Jersey. Let me see if there's a, I don't know that there's a year on this no, there's no year on this catalog. There's just designs. It's a pamphlet like this, right? Beautiful designs. I love, thank you. Thank God I didn't screw that one up. I love finding these old catalogs, and I bid on them where I can. I get really disappointed when I lose them on eBay because I know I'm not sitting on them and I'm not lining my bed with them or, you know, using them as deodorant. I'm saving them so that we can look at them together, and it multiplies the amount of people who know the information that's in them. So I hate losing them. And these are all ones that I've gotten at one time or another on eBay or like in Donna's store, Whispering Hill in Woodstock, Connecticut, new old stock kind of things at raw cooking stores. I think it's very important to try to collect them so that we can look at them together. Because as you know, sometimes something goes in my head, goes right out, and as we are finding out, you all are remembering things that we talk about, and that's captured. That's called posterity, isn't it? Let's see, this looks like number 5. Oh, this is a good one. So number 5 is called Baseball. And this is a pattern by the Emma Lulay's Primitives again. So it's from this book, and the image looks like this. Baseball. Isn't that sweet? Doesn't that make you feel seasonal and summery? I just love this drawing. I just love it. So I have a funny question for you. When I looked at that image, I thought, what can I do with that? And I remembered years ago, many, many boyfriends ago, I was dating a great guy named Orrin, and he loved sports, and I didn't. But he took me to Cooperstown, New York, to the baseball museum, and I thought I was really going to suffer. I was very happy when we arrived, and there was that Glimmerglass Lake is there, which was so beautiful, and kind of an outdoor museum that was like a small kind of Plymouth Plantation, Sturbridge Village, kind of Williamsburg, recreation village, right? Lots of bookstores. It was a really great town. And I went to the baseball museum, and I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't even have to force myself. This was before having a phone or anything like that, and I was just sucking it up. But it was so really, truly interesting. I stayed in the section that was more about history and the old years, more than like looking at pictures of people who I didn't know who they were. And I learned a lot about the early history of baseball, which I have not retained. But I looked up this question today. Stop it, Teresa. Is it Babe Ruth Day today? Are you serious? That is so cool. What a coincidence, right? I don't think I've ever said the word baseball live before. So my question for you is, this is a moving target question, right? Because there can be different answers. But when is the sort of most agreed first game of baseball played? What year was it played? Was it 1845, 1865, 1885? And I'll tell you, the first game of organized baseball that was played was between a team in New York called the Knickerbockers, having an organized game, a competitive game. And that's what seems to be the answer. Of course, it could be that tomorrow somebody finds a diary and we find out that there was a game years earlier. But what do you think? Do you think it was 1845, 65, or 85? That's tough, isn't it? Teresa, that is such a wacky coincidence, isn't it? That is so funny. Lisa says 65. Is it also Jackie Robinson Day today? I mean, it's not impossible, is it? Maybe it's a special baseball day or something? How neat. I'm so glad that I picked that one. That was just a weird coincidence that I picked that one. I thought it was so different, and that's why I wanted to use it. It is not 1865. It is 1845. It's just a guess thing, isn't it? 1885 probably sounds like it's a bit too late. 1845 to me sounds too early. I would have gone with 65 too. Although 65 is like Civil War, time. That's a hard one. I don't know what I would have said had I not written the question. Good job, Kaz. You got it. Robin says, yes, Teresa, you're right. And my mom says, the Opera House oh my gosh, I forgot about that, Mom, at Glimmerglass Lake. Also great book, lots of great used bookstores. This was like, well, how many boyfriends ago? This was many years ago. This was decades ago. Yeah, this was more than 20 years ago. But they had so many used bookstores in that town, Cooperstown, New York. Man, was that remote from where I was coming from, which was like closer to New York City in those days. You'd think it would be close, but it was not. We lived like on the outskirts in Carmel and actually Mahopac. But yeah, that was a long drive. But what a beautiful town that was. I wonder if anybody's been there. I'd love to go back. I think of it a lot. It's just that it's not really close to anything, and I think it's a little bit more than like, it's definitely more than an overnight. It might be a little bit more than a weekend. But it was so charming. It was so charming. Unfortunately, my memory, my overall memory of that weekend is watching one of the movies like either Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs or one of those. And I know that they're great movies, and they are great movies, but they're not for me. They're way too violent. One of those kinds of movies was on the TV at the hotel, and I just watched it because it was on in the background. I was working on something else, can't remember what, but it was so disturbing, and I just, it's so awful to associate that with such a beautiful place, you know. I hate those. I hate violence in movies. Linda says, also Jackie Robinson celebrated today. Okay, opening day for the Mets. So on the scene, and oh, what a great day for baseball, right? How funny. What a coinky dink. All right, next one, 26. I'm keeping an eye on the time. 26. No, I'm not. All right. Okay, so this one is called Seagulls. And your question is going to be, I'm going to show you the image. Your question is going to be, which company, and I'm going to give you a multiple choice, whose company's design is Seagulls. Now, this is one we've looked at recently, so maybe you recognize it. We had a long conversation about this. Karen, I think you came up with a great idea, the great idea that it was probably an aerial view looking down. Just catching up with your thread too. So for Seagulls, what do you think? Do you think it's a Canada pattern? Do you think it's associated with Cheticamp, Blue Nose, or Ridimere? What do you think? I know you're going to get this one, but there's so many great patterns that come out of Canada. It's hard to know sometimes, isn't it? You are right, Aileen. It is Ridimere. I guess I'm very Ridimere heavy today. It's because it's so fresh in my mind, I guess. But we're reinforcing all this good information, right? I want to hook that too. So bad. You're all getting it. Good job. Good job. Makes me happy when we all get it, right? Because you didn't see it on the... I'm not going to start that again. We all just remember, right? Because we talked so much. We looked so much. We looked at such depth. And with such thoughtfulness that it might be ingrained in there, right? There are worse things than having a lot of rug hooking patterns ingrained, right? I would love to burn them in like pyrography into my head, all of them. So this next one for me is 27. Let me see what it might be for you. Okay, it's this adorable one called See No Evil. And this one is from, let me show it to you first. I'm going to have to double check myself because I think I screwed up again. I'm pretty sure this is the Heart and Hand. Let me just double check. See No Evil. Isn't that adorable? Don't you like that sort of exotic touch with the colorful umbrella and the costumes on the monkeys, like the little fez hat, the beret, the cushions? Isn't that something? Let me just double check myself and make sure that this is a Heart and Hand pattern before I give you the trivia question associated with this one. I know that it is. I have to be sure. You know me. Yep, it is. It's a Heart and Hand. So there we go. There's the proof. Heart and Hand. Using this one again. So my question for you is, do you remember in 1989 there was a movie called See No Evil? So my trivia question for you is a silly one. It is, which one of these actors was not in the 1989 comedy thriller See No Evil? Was it Richard Pryor, Chevy Chase, or Gene Wilder, who was not in See No Evil? Do you remember that movie? I can't say I remember. It's not, I love movies and comedies from this period, but it wasn't one of my favorite ones. I remember that much. Lois, does anyone know who has Ridimere patterns now? Lois, this is a conversation. This is a work in progress. I'm glad that you asked that question because this came up when we were doing our last round of Ridimere talking. And what was the consensus? Can somebody recap me? I know I got some emails on this subject that were pretty definitive, and I think it was, oh God, I'm going to come back to you with the correct information, but at the moment, one of the Canadian companies, it might even be the Guild, is looking to acquire all of the patterns. So it is still up in the air, but at least it's possible that the conversation on Coffee Time jogged this because people started sending emails out like crazy. And I got CC'd on a lot of emails, not like a couple, like a landslide of emails. People CCing on emails saying what is going on with the Riddermere patterns, what has become of them, why are they not available, and that is a to be continued. But from what it looks like, that they will be available soon, and I will give you all of that information as soon as I have it. So that is just a hold your breath. We're almost there on those Riddermere patterns right now. Wendy, you are right. It is Chevy Chase. Oh, Linda Ann. Gene was my idol. I had a poster of him. He's the first man that I had a poster of on my bedroom wall. Gene and Young Frankenstein. I think I've told you before, my dad got to meet him when we lived in Stamford, Connecticut. I was so jealous. I have always had, me too, I've had the weirdest crush on Gene Wilder all of his life. And I still do. He's gone, of course, but all of his life. I love him. It is Chevy Chase is the odd man out. Because, of course, Gene worked with Richard Pryor a lot on Stir Crazy and what was it, Blazing Saddles. I feel like there's other ones that they worked together on that were just Silver Streak, right? Silver Streak. I watched that not that long ago. It was very funny. Those are just great movies. For me, See No Evil less. It was a little bit later. But, oh, God, are they funny together, Gene and Richard Pryor. Chevy Chase is very funny, too. I've heard he's very, very, very difficult, right? We've probably said that, too. I was shocked to hear that. Oh, Annette, good to see you in Tennessee. You made it. You made it. I'm glad you're there. Happy Friday. Let's have a drink to Annette. Good to see you. I'm looking for a reason, but I'm also so happy to see you. Okay, Aileen says, Riddermere patterns are with the daughter, but she has not agreed to sell them. Now, I'm going to wait and be careful about what I say, but I know I got a message that said that, I'll wait. That it looked like it was possible to get them out there again. So hopefully that happens. It sounded very promising. I'm going to have to go back on all that. That was right that week that I was turning in the book. So yeah, I was not really with the program and following the emails. I'm going to have to go back to that whole period of time and all the messages that you all sent that were important during that time, because that was a terrible time for me brain-wise. They were such a good duo. They were so funny. I know there are duos like that now, like some of the younger guys like Ben Stiller and whoever, who always act together, and they're always kind of funny. But it's just not the same, is it? Is it? Or is it just me? Maybe I'm just stuck. All right, I have number 25, which for you is, yeah, I forgot to put any text on this. This is another Riddermere pattern. Ring-a-ling. Remember this one? I should, I edited a bunch of pictures on it. I edited a ton of them out because I had too many. I should have edited out some of the Riddermeres. Not that I don't love looking at them again. I just feel like they're easy. They're the low-hanging fruit because we did this just a few weeks ago. My mom says Dad used to be in regular touch with Gene Wilder, who was, I think, he was on the Keep Stanford Beautiful Commission. Oh, that is so nice. And Dad said his eyes were that crazy ice blue. They were, weren't they? They were that crazy ice blue. He had kind of like big eyes that were kind of sleepy, and then those beautiful curls, those soft lips. I better stop, right? I better stop. Okay, so that last call was Ring-a-ling. And our next call is 22, which is, this is a nice one. So, it is called Old New England Coach Line. See if you have Old New England Coach Line. And this is a Ralph Burnham pattern. So we've had a lot of talk about Ralph Burnham, and we are nowhere near done with him. We're going to be talking about him until I die, which hopefully is really a long way away. So this is a 1950 Burnham catalog that I have now. Remember, Ralph Burnham was the antique dealer in Ipswich, Massachusetts. That's where the Cogswell Grant House is that we're going to if you're coming with me in July on that field trip to the two houses. He was in Ipswich, and he was in the business of antiques, but he specifically looked for rugs, and when he found people's rugs, he advertised to either buy them outright or restore them, repair them. And when he did, he lifted, and I don't mean lifted in a, shady way, but he copied the pattern from them, right? It was not even an issue back then. And good thing he did do that, because he was able to save original patterns, homemade patterns that otherwise would not have been saved and would not have been kept to this day. So in doing that, he was then able to sell rug patterns, which was smart. He was a very smart businessman. But this pattern is by Ralph Burnham, and this is the catalog I'm pulling it from. Patterns on Burlap from 1950 for making hooked rugs. So I'll tell you. Oh, it was written on the back. I thought it was signed or something. I was just about. I don't have any pants on. If you notice, I took them off. I'm like, don't let me have a problem, an excitement problem, when I don't have any pants on. No, there's just someone wrote something from 1971. What a one-tone background is cold and hard. Give it warmth and character by modeling it a bit. That's a tip. Individuality is what we're after. How neat is that? On the very last page of the cover is that quote. How neat is that? What a nice note to end on, right? It's a great catalog. We'll look at this on Crochet Point. I've never seen that reference, Crochet Point. Isn't that interesting? It's kind of the medium point for him. We'll look at this together. We'll look at the Burnham catalogs coming up soon, because he's got some very distinctive patterns, including the one we just mentioned, the Old New England Coachline. All right, moving on to number 18. And number 18 for you is, oh, Hey Diddle Diddle. So Hey Diddle Diddle is a Joan Moshimer pattern. I have a few Joans in here. This is the first one that we have encountered. So this is a Joan Moshimer pattern taken from the famous nursery rhyme by Mother Goose. And, Mother Goose is thought to be a real person. She was married to a man called, I think his name was Isaiah Goose. And she is actually married, she is buried in Boston. What's the burial ground? Oh, it'll come to me. It's where Benjamin Franklin's parents are buried too. It's right on the Freedom Trail. It'll come to me. We'll talk about that another time. I see a bug. Sorry, if I'm going to kill him, I might as well kill him instead of torture him, right? But anyway, she seemed to be a real person. And I think I've mentioned this before. She apparently wrote a book or a collection or something paper bound. And it is said to exist. Many generations of her family say that the collection of her fairy tales exists, very limited run, and it was published in the 18th century, so the 1700s. If you ever see this thing in an antique store, you have got to pick it up. This, if anybody finds it, and I don't know how many copies there are because it is unknown, it would be one of the rarest literary documents available, right? Or not available. If you ever see this, you have to pick it up on the off chance, right? If it seems like an old copy, a collection of Mother Goose rhymes, it would be well worth having. So I wanted to give you some trivia on this rhyme because we all know it, right? And it goes like this, just in case we forgot. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon, the little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. And I was looking at the story, there's always a story behind, because we know that rhymes and children's content for children at this time was always just kind of a cover for much more serious or dirty talk. And this is one of those examples too. So I'm reading this article from a site called classicfm.com, like a radio station. And classicfm.com says, in Hey Diddle Diddle, not all may be as it seems. And according to scholars on the whole who have researched this, paraphrasing, it's not just an incoherent, humorous nonsense verse. Diddle is defined in the English dictionary as either the act of getting money or some advantage from somebody by cheating them. If you're English or you've spent time in Britain, you know it has a very different and dirty definition now that is completely widespread and universal. But at this time, it had to do with money, getting money or cheating to get money. And it goes on to say that the cat and fiddle is a common name for taverns in England and in the United States. And the cow jumping over the moon could be a metaphor for, and they're not too sure about this, it could be anything, right? So this is part of the rhyme that is not, they cannot pin down too well. But the money association is there. The tavern association is there. Maybe the dog is laughing and lightheaded after too many ales, it suggests. And how a dish can even run, we're not sure. So above scholarly conclusion, It still is a bit nonsense, it says. And then it goes into, if you're interested, remember, I'll give you the website again, a very long conversation on all of the possible implications that this verse could have, right? All of the different translations and interpretations that could exist. But this is on a site called Classic FM. So if you Google Classic FM, hey diddle diddle, this came up as a post on August 3rd, 2021. I just thought it was cute. It just made me think about the way that nothing is quite as it seems when skim milk masquerades as cream. That was Gilbert and Sullivan. But just the idea that all of that nonsense verse always means something else, doesn't it? And it's usually pretty heavy, isn't it? It's often very heavy and philosophical. Let me see. Let me catch up here. So Lois says that would be the daughter of Gene Field, who owned. Okay. Lois, were you one of the people who wrote to me? I think you were. I had so many people write about Riddermere after that episode, and I was just like biting my nails and like I was like a cartoon character at that moment with the due date coming up for the book, and then the teaching that same weekend, and then the pattern that I had to do for Green Mountain. That was a bad time. Yeah, Gene Field, who owned Riddermerehurst Field. So let's see. I had a lot of information, but let's see. I'll probe as soon as I can and see if I can find out anything more about that. And as soon as I hear anything on the subject, or if you do, let me know so I can tell everybody. We are all dying for some of those Riddermere patterns, and we all have some on our list. Seagulls is certainly on my list. The sampler, right, with the potted plants is certainly on my list. There are quite a few that are really, really ones that I can't live without. So I know we all feel that way, and we're all dying for more information on this subject. Aileen says, Mother Mary Goose is buried at, thank you, the Granary Burial Ground in Boston. So it's right behind Faneuil Hall and Quincy Market, right? If you go out there for a vacation, it's literally right behind, because you have to go to Faneuil Hall and Quincy Market, right behind there. And right in front, when you approach the cemetery, because I remember because the tour bus went by like once a week for years of my life, the Benjamin Franklin's parents are there right in the front, right up against the fence. And that's where Mrs. Goose is buried too. So interesting, isn't it? So much history. Isn't it great? Check out the emails. Okay, Aileen, I know I have emails from you too. I'm going to have to do a composite of all these. Maybe I'll start a CC for everybody in the Riddermere conversation. We can maybe pull some information there. That would be good, huh? All right, let me keep going. I'm really interested in that subject because I really want some Riddermere. All right, so this looks like number 19. Okay, oh God, is this cute? So this is called Hometown, and this is another one by Patsy Becker. Let me show you what this looks like. And I know it was about a year ago. I didn't have time. I'm always in a tailspin, less, but still. I'm bringing in focus here. I'm sorry. Come on, Hometown. Seriously? Oh boy, we're going to get motion sick here. Okay, wait a minute. I can't stand up because I took the sweatpants off, right? Let me, have I learned my lesson with this thing, right? There we go. I remember in the Facebook group not that long ago, somebody posted their progress doing this pattern by Patsy Becker called Hometown. I am so blown away by this pattern. And I remember the converse, it is so complicated. It is so charming. It is just unbelievably beautiful. And I know it's available because I found it online at the time and I put it in my cart and then I forgot about it. I have to get it. The conversation online was, the person who was working on it was a long time ago now, was saying, what do you think? Should I do the entire village with snow? Other people chiming in, oh, maybe this, maybe that would be harder, maybe, all kinds of conversation that unfolded as a result of her working on this Patsy Becker pattern called Hometown. So interesting to follow. I followed it right to the end. It was so interesting. It was a while back. I can't remember if it was on our page, Rug Cooking and Punch Needle Club, or someone else's, but it was really, really a lot of fun. Beautiful pattern, Hometown. So this is a music trivia question coming at you. There was a famous song that was either in the 80s or 90s, and it was called My Hometown. And do you remember who sang that song, right? I'm not going to do it because it might give something away. Was it Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, or John Cougar? Do you remember? I have to say, I vaguely remember the song and I wasn't sure, so I had to look up my hometown. A bit gritty, right? So that maybe gave something away. It's broken. I finished it for the first time in ages. It's broken. I'm going to hold on that and reel the next one out. It's getting to be. Linda says, bringing, bringing hometown into focus was like the scene in Wonderful Life when the town comes into focus. Totally was. That is so. That is so funny. And the fact that it was a picture of a town is so funny. God, that is so funny. Okay, so we're getting some guesses. Aileen says, Cougar. No. Sharon, the boss. It was the boss. Aren't they kind of the same person? I had to put Billy Joel. Billy Joel is very different. I like him very much more. But yeah, it was Billy Joel. But aren't Bruce Springsteen and John Cougar quite similar with their kind of gruff, protesty song thing going on? It was Bruce Springsteen, and it is a beautiful song. Good job. Fun to guess, isn't it? Oh man, that is so funny. That's so funny. All right, number 10. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, this one is so good. All right, so this one is called Cat Band. And I'm going to give you a trivia question here that's not a multiple choice. There's the Cat Band. And this is by, I'm going to have to look up once I finish holding it. I want to be sure everybody gets to look up and see it so you can mark it off your sheet if you've got it. Isn't this so, so, so whimsical? There are so many patterns tonight beyond the Ridimers, which, you know, I really want all of them, that I really, really want. Okay, Heart and Hand. It's more Heart and Hand. I'm going to need to start chasing. There's so many from this one pamphlet that I pulled, including Cat. It's not called Cat. Maybe it is called Cat Band. Let me see if she, yeah, it is called Cat Band. She titles her work, so Cat Band. Beautiful scene of a group of cat musicians with a lovely sort of cabaret style female cat singer. So my question for you, I'm going to describe a famous jazz singer that sang with this kind of a band with a lot of brass, right? So kind of jazz style. It's going to be a who is this person question. This person that I'm referring to is a female singer who is known as the First Lady of Song. In her lifetime, well, her career spanned 50 years. And during that time, she sold 14 million records and won 33 Grammys. So do you know who I'm talking about? The First Lady of Song. And again, I'm going to show you Cat Band, just in case you were looking away. Trying to come up with cute. Oh, don't you, Teresa, love Cat Band? I mean, this is a toughie to hook, right? This is definitely a toughie to hook. You're looking at I would hope, a really big pattern with I would cut it quite fine, and you know I don't do that often. Or hook with yarn, right? So it's just a little bit easier. I'm going to wait and see who comes up with some answers for that on that female singer. We are getting very close. Yes, it is Ella Fitzgerald. Good job. You're all getting it. Good job. Lisa, Aileen. Smart. You're right. Ella Fitzgerald. My two favorite Ella songs are Autumn in New York and Moonlight in Vermont. I think, well, Try to Remember is my all-time favorite song, but those are my second and third favorite songs and sung by the same person. So good. Loretta Lynn, no, but did she turn 90 today? Really? Oh my gosh, we're getting the news at the same time here. It's so funny how you just know the answer. We talk about the same things. We must all like the same things. I mean, isn't that nice? I mean, it's so nice. Well, Linda, your answer was great too. You had her in your head because of news, right? Like the baseball. That was a great answer too. No, stop it. There is no wrong answer. There's no bad answer. They're all great answers. All right, so this one, I'm getting buzzed all over the place by Snapchat. The kids install these things on my phone. I don't even know how to open Snapchat. All right, so this one is 15, which for you is the Fairfield Huntsman. The Fairfield Huntsman. So I'll show you what this looks like. And remember, if you have bingo, shout bingo. We're down to 6 calls. So we must be getting pretty close on bingo. Fairfield Huntsman. And this is by Joan Moshimer. I also love Joan Moshimer. Just so you know, the Joan Moshimer book I was working from was this one. This one comes up often on eBay, and it's nice to have. It's a big, thick book of patterns, right? It's a big, thick book of patterns. It's great for inspiration. It's great for historical reference to try to pin down which ones are Joan's. So I have a question for you about Joan Moshimer. And my question is, Joan did a lot of writing and teaching, right? She was based in Kennebunkport, Maine. Joan was tied to a collection of dyes, right? A brand of dyes very tightly. And she always advertised them and mentioned them in her books and in her catalogs. Are we talking about Cushing Perfection dyes, Tintex, or diamond dyes? Do you know which dyes Joan Moshimer is known for kind of marketing, right? I mean, always. It was always. Let me know your answer for that, and I'm going to get the next one ready. And as you know, even after we call bingo, I always do the last calls. So even if you log off, I'm doing the last 3, 4, 5 calls because those pictures are on your paper, and I can't rightly just let them go. I have to say who they're by and give credit. So I will continue on until I get to the very bitter end. And I'm going to wait and see who comes up with an answer for that. So my next, it is Cushing, Wendy. Good job. I was trying to throw you with diamond dyes. There's not really a close third. Tintex was a little bit earlier, in the earlier 2020s to like mid-century. So Tintex really isn't in there. And RIT, I didn't think would get you. So it's really just diamond and Cushing, isn't it? But Cushing is the brand that she was always synonymous with. Good job. Yep, you all got it. Good job. So the next one is number 7, which is Bunny Dance. I'm looking out for bingo. This one is Bunny Dance. This is going to be a do you know, let me come in carefully here. Do you know whose pattern this is? And it's going to be a multiple choice. So here is the pattern. Do you know whose pattern this is? Is it 1, Burnham, Ralph Burnham? Is it 2, Garrett Bluenose? Is it 3, Rittemere? It's an oldie, and you probably recognize it because every year people do this every year. We see around this time of year many examples of bunny dance, but do you know who the original designer on this is? I hope I didn't have the answer in there with the arrow pointing to it. So let me know if you know while I doodle up the last one. I get so tense. It's like that game Perfection. Remember where you pop in the shapes and the thing is recessed and any minute it's going to pop in your face and shape is going to fly into your eye and blind you. It's like that when we get to the end of bingo because I'm just checking to see if someone's shouting bingo. It feels tense, All right. Number 5 is already called. So I pulled the wrong one. How did I do that? No, sorry. I must have pulled the same one. It is possible. I don't think I screwed this up. You know that I'm careful. All right. I see what happened. Let me just move these so it doesn't happen again. No, not yet. All right. So, hold on. I'm still looking. 30. Hold on. Oh, this one is so cute. Through Thick and Thin. Patsy Becker. I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to be a bingo. Through Thick and Thin by Patsy Becker. Isn't that cute? You see the big dog in this pretty landscape with the kitty underneath his legs. Same motion, same position of all the limbs. Happy little smiles, companionable little smiles on the face. How cute is that? That is so cute. That is a Patsy Becker, Through Thick and Thin. So I even forgot the last question. It was Garrett Bluenose. Nobody answered that one. The one about the 3 rabbits. That's originally a Garrett. It's an antique pattern, but Garrett Bluenose brought it out first. So the answer was Garrett Bluenose. The last call I did, just catching up with you because of the delay, was Patsy Becker, Through Thick and Thin. And I'm not seeing it yet. It's got to be this one now. Oh, I'm pushing the shape in. All right, let's see what number this is. You little devil, come in my hand here. Here we go. Get ready. You sitting on the edge of your seat there? Number 2. Number 2 is Aristocrat. And I know. It's this cat. Aristocrat. Not like the Disney movie Aristocrat. And this is an heirloom pattern. So this is by Louise Zeiser, the Providence Company. This is an heirloom pattern, Aristocat. I have this rug finished. I showed it maybe 6 months ago, 9 months ago on Coffee Time. Absolutely beautiful pattern. I can't believe I don't see bingo yet. I know it's there. I'm going to go real slow with this. God, I hope there's not a mistake on the cards or something. That would be awful. I hope I'm still live. All right, I'm going to keep going. So the next call is, for me, 16. Tens. Okay, 16 is, this has got to be it. We're right getting to the end now. Flower cat. Flower cat. Flower cat. Is it you? Flower cat looks like this. This is another Primitives design by Emmylou Lais, L-A-I-S. Thank you for letting me add that tonight. I'm going to add that in ink to my book. Flower cat. Another beautiful primitive pattern. I'm going to really think there's something seriously wrong if nobody says bingo. I hope I didn't screw this up big time. That would be awful. Well, worst comes to worst, everybody gets their money back, right? But it should really be bingo. I am live. Thanks, Aileen. All right, I'm going to keep going. We usually have it by now. That's why I'm second guessing myself. All right. God, I hope those sheets aren't screwed up. I am very, very worried. Come on. I'm even having trouble getting these little guys out. There's 2 left for you, Robin. All right. I'm afraid we're going to get more than one bingo card at once. Oh, there are a lot of cat patterns tonight, Teresa. I didn't even notice that. There are some. I guess I like cats because I picked them, right? My cat is up there on the top bunk right now, Pitter Pat. Okay, so all of you need 2 more. We might have a problem with the numbers tonight. The math might have gotten screwed up on these cards. We haven't had it screwed up for like a year and a half to 2, well, ever since we started. But it could be that it's screwed up and that everyone's getting bingo at the same time. And if so, I'm so sorry. I'll have to check the formula. Maybe we've just been lucky all this time. Anyway, here it comes. 29. Everybody's got 2 left. That makes me nervous. 29 is... I should get a pen handy too because I'm going to have to write down what card it was. 29 is, for me, the 3 bears. The 3 bears. And I know you know what this looks like, and I know you know that this is a Garrett Blue Nose pattern. This is probably, well, the Blue Nose is their biggest seller, but the 3 bears is certainly their most famous, the 3 bears. And that is a Garrett Blue Nose pattern. All right, I'm checking my stuff. I'm double checking myself. Hang on, I'm getting very sweaty. Gosh, I'm so surprised. I feel like we should have it by now. Okay, well, wait a minute. I have a terrible feeling we're all going to get it at once. All right, yikes. Okay, so number 6. Number 6 for me is Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin is part of the American Boy series. And I was going to do a guessing game, but I'm too nervous now. This is by, my mom says I have 2 blocks left on several cards. Okay, so we're getting there. So I think I have bingo on Flower Cat. Ringling was called earlier, Shannon. Let's follow up with that, because if that's the case, then that was a couple calls ago. That would make, okay. So which card is it? And let's just dovetail with Shannon and see, is it the same as the Ringling? Shannon, do you know what card you've got there, the Ringling Flower Cat card? I'm seeing 2 cards come up now, but I just want to be sure that the Flower Cat didn't make bingo, because if it did, because now I've got 3 cards with possible bingo. Let me know which card, no pressure, Shannon, had the flower that you thought you might have Flower Cat bingo, because that was the number that we should have gotten it on. We're just going to do our crazy math here. Let's figure this out. We'll give Shannon a minute with the delay to answer, because if that card won, then that would have been the first card, because Ringling would have done it. I'm waiting and looking. Did anybody else feel that you won bingo on the call for Flower Cat? Let me ask that. I'll wait for that. Ringling was card number 4. For people who had card number 4, did you get bingo at Flower Cat? Because that was 3 calls away. I know it's a long delay on here. So let's see. I haven't called it yet because I just want to be sure. I just want to get the full consensus. For people with card number 4, do you feel like you got it at Flower Cat? And let me know which call. For people that just called bingo, let me know. Was it the Ben Franklin call that you got it on? Flower Cat is on 7. Okay. Come in, whoever that is. Hello! Speaking, okay, we're figuring out who's won, but it's very tense. Speaking of great rug hooking patterns, this one, I don't know if you remember this one. It's called Those Hookers Are Hot, and it's designed by Jocelyn. And it is a sun. Be still. It's a sun with all of these rug hooks coming out of it, and the title of it is actually These Hookers Are Hot. So you know why she doesn't wear this to school, but it's a very cool shirt. So let me see what everyone's saying. Cards 3 and 4 for me seem to have bingos, not on Flower Cat. It also has been. Okay, so I need to figure out whether Flower Cat was the winning bingo call, because if it was, then it's only the Flower Cat card that won. Because Ben Franklin came 2 cards later, I think, or one call later. But definitely Flower Cat was first. Okay. No, not... Okay, so not on Flower Cat. So it is the Ben Franklin card that was the winner. Is that the consensus? It is the Ben Franklin card. Okay, yes, Ben Franklin on both 1 and 3. Okay. Oh, no. So... just to get the general consensus, this is a big screw up tonight. Does it look like 4 cards won? That's still 1/3 of the cards. So, because there's 12 cards. Becky says, "Happy Easter." Do you see?
Yeah.
All right. God, I look like a hooker today. Okay. Not sure. Oh, I see. It seems like it wasn't on Flower Cat. It seemed. I want to absolutely, I want to figure this out with you. I'm so sorry. It's usually very clear, but there must have been a numbers problem, as there can be. We have gone with one winner for like a year, or at least a year. And tonight, it seems like more than one card came up at once. That is always a math possibility, but it's very unlikely. And we are, I think, very unlucky today. So it seems like, and tell me if I'm right, let me get a pencil out. It seems like the cards that have, Joss, can you get me a pencil? All I see is a noodle, a slime noodle. It's not really going to help. Can you find me a writing utensil? It seems to me like, yeah. All right. 3, 4, and 7. Does that seem unanimous that cards 3, 4, and 7? So that would be a quarter of the card. So that would still be good odds. But I'm always disappointed when it's not just the one card. 3, 4, and 7. Oh, I got one, Joss. All right, let me write this down. 3, I got it. 3, 4, and 7. Can you let me know before I sign off? I'm going to do the end of the calls just so we know. I was going to say Shannon said 12, 2. Can you check to see if she won first? Good, thank you. That's exactly what I need.
I have a feeling the cat's going to jump on the table.
No, so Shannon said she had, I hope the cat doesn't jump on the table. Shannon said she had the card with number 12, Cool Cats. I did not call Cool Cats.
It's an actual bingo.
It's an actual bingo cage. So that card, I'm sorry, Shannon. Next time it's going to be you, but that card is not a winner. I did not call Cool Cats. So it looks to me, and let me know if we're in agreement here, because I don't want anybody to be sore about this. It looks to me like cards number 3, 4, and 7 won at Ben Franklin. And I'd love confirmation from you on that. So let's quickly look while we're figuring this all out. Any calls that we might have missed. We called Thistle, Aristocrat, Aunt Lily's Quilts, Autumn Leaves, Baseball, Ben Franklin, Bunny Dance, Calico Cat, Castles in Spain, Cat Band, Celestial Swirl, Deco Door, You Is Just Fluffy, Fairfield Huntsman, Flower Cat, Ghana, Hey Diddle Diddle, Hometown, Lake of the Woods, Magnetism, Old New England Coach Line, Peaceful Village, Potluck Sampler, Ring-a-Ling, Seagulls, See No Evil, Special Heart, The Three Bears, Through Thick and Thin, Turtles in the Rain, Wink and Blink and a Nod. So the only call that I did not make was Cool Cats. That is the only call I did not make, and that is a Rittemare pattern, if you were wondering. I am so sorry. It didn't work out mathematically tonight. I don't really know how to fix that. I guess we've been lucky for a long time, but we have a lot of winners tonight. It just means we divide it a little bit more. You know, you don't have to spend your winnings right away. We're due to have, because I'm 2 months behind on bingo night in terms of the way the weeks break up, maybe in, say, 3 weeks, we're running another bingo night. And if you win again, you can pool and buy something really worthwhile if you want, So Teresa says, I am new. How do we get the bingo cards? Is it, well, we already did the bingo cards, so we can't get them now because now we've run the game and we know who the winners are. But next time we run, and I do plan to run in 3 weeks. Josh, you're making too much noise. I plan to run in 3 weeks. So when I do, when I put up the word and everything in the Facebook page on Coffee Time, on Ribbon Candy Hooking, I try to post at least a week in advance. Then buy your tickets. They're $3 each, and there's 12 different tickets. And whoever wins, and this is really odd, like it really is, isn't it? It's usually one card every time. And when it's one card, people usually win $30-something each, which is a good amount of money to win. But tonight it's 3 cards at once, so the numbers are going to be skewed. I'll have to figure this out and figure out if there's a way to prevent this kind of math situation next time, having multiple winning cards, because I prefer the one. Bigger win. Fewer people, but bigger win. Congratulations to all of the winners tonight. So Aileen says, yes, 3, 4, and 7 for me, 1 on Ben Franklin. And my mom confirms, no, Cool Cats was not called. Yay, yay to so many of us. That is a happy thing. I'm sorry, Shannon. No, Cool Cats was not called. So that was not a winning card for tonight, but it's because Cool Cats was the only call that I didn't make yet. So that would have been the next one and last one. And if I'd called that, everyone would have won, because there are, I guess, if there's 3 winning cards and 12 cards, that means that there are 9 cards with Cool Cats on them. So everybody who had a Cool Cats on their card did not win. But cards number 3, 4, and 7 won. And if you have cards 3, 4, and 7, you will get an email probably tonight, because it's not that late, telling you what the amount was. We'll break it down by the amount of winners, telling you what the amount was with your code so that you can shop. But if you don't use your code, you can combine it with your next bingo and use it next time. That's always fine. So up to you. So congratulations to the many winners. I wish it was a bigger pot, because it won't turn out to be that much, but mostly it was fun, and there are a lot of people who won something. All of the winners made a big return, probably a 3-to-1 return tonight, so that's always good odds, right? Oh, I'm glad it was a fun bingo. Congrats to all. I'm sorry to those of you who didn't win, but next time is your night. 3 winners is a lot in one night. That is a lot, isn't it, Joss?
Yeah.
What are you doing over there? Come on over on film. You gonna say Happy Easter to your buddies? What are you looking forward to on Easter?
Decorating eggs and...
You got so much chocolate. Were you eating those cookies downstairs?
No, it's on me.
It's a bunch of chocolate. She was baking some cookies down there. Oh, really, Becky? Card 1, 1, 2. Did anybody else have a win for card 1? Thank you, Kaz. It was a super fun night. I enjoyed myself immensely. I just don't want to screw this up at the end. Anybody else have card 1 that they feel they won on Franklin? I'm gonna stay live until I know, just because when I log off, I want to know for sure what cards people feel that Franklin was the winning card. Well, you know what? I can check myself, because all of the cards that didn't include Cool Cats are the winning cards. So I'll just check that myself. And I will let you know. So we'll do that later tonight, because I'm going to be in a bit of a limbo until we figure that out. It's a lot of winning cards in one night, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if there's 12 cards and 4 won, that still means that 1 out of 3 cards won.
Yeah.
So there's still a profit there for sure. It's just not a huge one.
Did Chicky the pattern, is it on the shelf yet?
Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you about Chicky. No, we need to do that. Let's do that tomorrow, Joss. Jocelyn designed another design that doesn't involve the word hookers. It's actually called Chicky. And do you want to describe the design? You want to draw it right here?
Yeah.
All right, you draw it right here.
Are you sure? It might give a sneak peek.
Yeah, give a sneak peek. She's gonna. I gotta be out of this picture because I took my pants off.
If you don't want a sneak peek,
She's showing you how to draw Chicky. If you like pattern designing, or you have someone in your life who likes to design patterns. This is how she draws
upside
Chicky.
down right now.
Yep, you're drawing it for your viewers. That's Chicky's face. So she designed a rug hooking pattern the other day called Chicky, and it's super cute. There's more to it than just the chicken. Okay, Linda, thank you. Thank you. That's good info. This is how you draw Chicky. So if you feel like doing your own pattern designing straight on your backing, you can draw Chicky as easy as that. He's popping his head out like the sun popping out of a horizon, right?
What?
Yeah, a little bit. But anyway, I will put Chicky up tomorrow. That will be one of the patterns that I put up tomorrow, so you can check that out. It is up in Ribbon Candy Hooking. So if you search Ribbon Candy Hooking for Chicky, that is her latest design. I just forgot to advertise it. It's been busy times. You also have like a chocolate or a juice mustache lady. You is looking pretty as ever, though. You want to say Happy Easter to all of our buddies?
Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody. I will certainly, yeah.
Today, like the play dates that I had with my friends were like, like first, my friend Clara came over. We played there. Then my friend Charlotte wanted me to come to her house. So then me, Charlotte and Clara went to their house. Then we went back and took Charlotte with us. And then all of us were at my house.
Yeah.
And then they all left.
It was a big day for buddies, huh? All the neighbor kids. They are such cute little girls, too.
Oh, my God. Look at Peter Pat's face.
Yeah, she is so cute. So Susie's got card one, too.
It's funny how right when I try to explain Peter Pat's face, she undoes it and looks away. Look
at what Teresa said. She said, Chicky can pop out of a broken egg. That would be cool. She likes that idea. She's altering her pattern already. You're going to have to give some royalties now. That's a great idea, because then it would be like a nice oval design, right?
I've already designed a baby Chicky before, so let me just...
Teresa, she's on it. Here it comes. I'll show you in a second. Oh, that is a great idea. Chicky can come out of a broken egg. That is really... Wait till you see this. This is really good. So I promise I will get to everybody who didn't have the Cool Cats on their card. You are a winner. So I'll get all of those out, and I will be able to know. Yep, there he is. Hold him still. There's Chicky coming out of his broken egg.
That's baby Chicky.
There's baby. Oh, he's got a little bit of a shell on his head, too. See, I almost like him without the shell on his head because he's like a perfect oval shape, you know?
He's actually a half oval.
Well, I mean, including the egg?
Yeah.
Like including the egg? Because his body almost fills the empty shell. Very cute. Lots of cute Easter designs. I will certainly be on this weekend to show you more on Chicky, to post some stuff for you. I've got a lot of stuff going on that I want to remind you, but I will be around this weekend. And if we don't cross before the weekend and chat or email with each other, know that I will be checking into those Ridimere designs again, and I'll be putting together all of the information that I got from a few different people. And we'll try to get further with that.
I want to draw something funny.
But if I miss seeing you or speaking to you, a very happy Easter to you. I hope it's a very special day. Colorful, bright, cheerful, hopeful, delicious, all of those things. Yes, thumbs up, please. I'm just going to wait for her for a second. What are you making, a Burl Ives lollipop tree over here? That is the smallest Chicky I've ever seen. What's going on with that, Joss? We got a designer over here. Is he holding a balloon?
With a Chicky. This is called Chicky World.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes I just draw a bunch of Chicky. Am I thankful for it? There's a Thursday where we draw a picture of what we're thankful for. I literally draw Chicky. I made it like Eastery. Then Clara, who sits next to me, just made more Chicky doodles. And then my entire Chicky turned into my entire paper turned into a Chicky. Like I drew a Chicky here, a Chicky that looks like an ice cream cone, a Chicky that looks like a tree, a Chicky jellyfish. I drew long Chickies, short Chickies, bush Chickies, snail Chickies, Chickies holding Chickies.
Inspiration.
No, seriously, I draw a Chicky with both hands. It held a Chicky. Like both of the hands, there was a Chicky that was holding two Chickies.
You should draw all this.
And then, no, I already did.
No, but you should give it to me to make.
And then those Chickies were holding Chickies. And then those Chickies were holding Chickies.
Chickies within Chickies within Chickies. It's like wheel, round, like a circle, and a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel. Except with Chickies. More Chickies and more Chickies.
Wait.
We will log
one-
off. We are
there's-
getting crazy.
there's
Thank
one
you
more
so much
thing
for
I
a
need
fun
to-
night.
There's one more thing.
She's doing one more thing. I'm going to let her go. But if you have to go, we loved seeing you. It was a super fun night. I'll get those codes out to you.
Because
Congratulations to the
remember
many winners
The
tonight.
Jocelyn night, like after you do something. Remember when I just popped on and did something with them?
Yes, we always enjoy Jocelyn nights. Oh, this is a patriotic chickie. Can I show that one?
It's not done yet.
Oh, hurry up, baby. I'm getting tired too.
Wait, there has to be more chickiness on the chickies.
Say bye to Gami.
Bye, Gam Gam.
We'll do it to be continued. I'll show you all the chickies later.
Wait, can you stay on for
10 more seconds, hon.
10 more seconds.
I'm dying to get downstairs too. I'm sitting with no pants on this plastic chair. My legs are like sticking. I'm going to have a hard time getting up. The chair's going to be attached.
The patriotic chicken.
I love that you're patriotic, Jess. I love that about you.
Look, there was little chickies for the stars and chickies on the stripes.
Chickies for the stars and chickies for the stripes. You're going to give people some ideas for rug hooking patterns.
Chickie,
Don't give them
chickie,
too many
chickie,
ideas. You got to copyright all your great ideas. Happy Easter, everybody. We will see you next Monday. Remember, starting on Monday, we've got kind of a fine art week going. It's going to be a super fun and inspiring series on Florence Griswold, the Florence Griswold House, in preparation for our field trip there